Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 13th of May 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and most important current affair of 13th of May. So guys, I am requesting you to watch this video till last, and I am again requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. So guys, before proceeding, I just want to discuss about our application. Application name is Careers Cloud and you can download this application from the description box link. After downloading, you have to log in with your email ID, and after login, you have to click on this Crack Current Affair section. After clicking on this Crack Current Affair section, you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. It means you can subscribe for 12 months as well as for 24 months. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. And guys, 90 to 95% current affairs which we are covering can come in your exam. So this is the genuinity of Affairs Cloud. This is hard work of Affairs Cloud team. So you have to remember this. And what we are providing under this subscription, we are providing basically daily current affairs. In the daily current affair section, you will receive three type of the sections. One is related to detailed current affair of particular day. Second is the question and answer format of current affair of particular day. And third is the quiz section, which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. In the weekly, again, you will get three type of the sections. One is related to detailed current affair of particular week, question and answer format of current affair of particular week, and third is the quiz section, which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. Next is the monthly section, and it is the most important section because we are providing four type of PDFs to enhance your performance. Like first is the study PDF. All the theoretical and detailed current affair you can read from this PDF. And to revise all this theoretical current affair, we are also providing question and answer format of PDF so that you can revise in the form of question and answer. Next is the top 100. It means the best 100 current affair every month will be provided under PDF format, and it is also provided in the question and answer format. One is the pocket PDF. It means you can revise all the current affair in 2 lines, 3 lines before your exam. It means you can revise all the current affairs in the theoretical format under very quickly format. So guys, this is daily, weekly and the monthly section. We are also providing some smart PDFs to enhance your performance in your exam. Like first is the topic wise PDF. It means we are covering 20 most important topics and we are providing 20 PDFs, and these PDFs are basically related to particular topic like apps and web portals, important days, books and authors, national current affair, international current affair. So if your one section is weak, then before your exam you have to just pick one PDF and you can revise all the current affair related to that topic. Next is the banking awareness. It means the aspirants who are preparing for banking exams, we are providing you 3 sections. One is related to detailed current affair of banking and economy only, question and answer format of current affairs only related to banking and economy, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application. Next is the exam PDF. The students who want to revise all the past current affair just from one PDF, then this PDF is for you. That is known as exam PDF. It means if you just want to revise all the 4 months past current affair of 2021, you can revise from this PDF. Next is the special current affair. Special current affair stands for budget and economic survey. It means we are providing factual and important data related to budget and economic survey. Also, we are providing expected question and answer which examiner can ask. Next is the state current affair. It is again very important because we are enhancing your state performance as well as your center government exam performance, and we are covering every state and union territory like West Bengal, like every state we are covering, and union territory also we are covering. So guys, there is no different subscription for all these topics. We are providing only one subscription. You have to just download our application Careers Cloud. You have to click on this Crack Current Affair, but before that you have to log in with your email ID, and after clicking on this Crack Current Affair, you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. And if you see the price, you will surprise because price is very low. And guys, on that minimal price, we are providing 10% extra discount. If you use this code ASH10, then you will get 10% extra discount. And you can reach us on this email ID if you have any query. You can also contact on this number if you have any type of query, or you can just comment on any video. I will personally entertaining all the comments, and I am devoting 1 to 2 hours daily on the comments. So you can also comment me any video. So guys, let's start today's current affair, that is 13th of May 2021. But I am again requesting you all the students that you have to provide us 700 plus likes. This is our initiative, 700 plus likes. You have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and you have to share this video as maximum as possible. So let's start today's current affair with the most important question, and we will discuss 4 questions in the most important section. Here is the first question. Which organization won the Green Urja Award 2021 for its development role towards the green energy energy financing. So by default, the most important keyword under this question is Green Urja Award 2021. Why they received this award? For the development of green energy financing. It means I am talking about a new and renewable energy. And answer of this question is B. It means I am talking about IREDA. IREDA stands for Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency Limited, which comes under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, won the Green Urja Award of 2021 for its developmental role towards the green energy financing. And you can also see here IREDA, Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, has been conferred with the Green Urja Award. And you can see this person. This person is chairman and managing director of this organization, that is IREDA. And this person is Pradeep Kumar Das. So you have to remember who is currently the chairman and managing director of this organization, that is Pradeep Kumar Das. And guys, you can also see this. It is for its developmental role towards the green energy financing, because IRDA won this award for being the leading public institution in financing institution for renewable energy. And the award recognizes the contribution of the organization towards the development of the renewable energy sector in the line with the Atmanirbhar Bharat or the self-reliant Bharat. And the award was conferred by the Indian Chamber of Commerce, or you can say the ICC, and IRDA is the only dedicated institution for financing renewable energy and energy efficiency projects in India. So you have to remember all these things. And in 2020-21, due to COVID-19 pandemic, IRDA has distributed the second highest amount of loan, almost amounting 9,000 crore rupees. 9,000 crore rupees. And IRDA sanctioned loans of rupees almost like 1 lakh crore, disbursed approximately 63,000 crore, and supported more than 17,000 megawatt of renewable energy capacity of India. But you don't have to remember this type of data, but you have to remember the name of the organization, because this is important award. And guys, remember recent related news that Ministry of Tribal Affairs received Scotch Challenger Award for e-governance and 3 gold awards for its initiatives. This award was basically given in January 2021. We covered this question in the most important section, and this time it was the 70th Scotch Summit, which was held in New Delhi. And during this Scotch Award 2021, these are presented to the different ministries by Scotch Group. And like Scotch Challenger Award, Best Performance in E-Governance was presented to Ministry of Tribal Affairs. And who is Union Minister of Tribal Affairs? Union Minister is Arjun Munda ji. It means it was received by Union Minister Arjun Munda. So all the things are covered under this question, and now you know who is currently the chairman and managing director of IREDA. Now we can move to the next question. Who won the World Food Prize of 2020? Guys, this is most important question, and 100% this question will come. Who won the World Food Prize 2021? So remember the answer very importantly. Answer of this question is B. Shakuntala Haraksingh Thilsted. So guys, you have to remember the name is mixture of Indian and you can say the foreigner, because she is Indian descent. Dr. Shakuntala Haraksingh Thilsted, a native of 2 islands like Trinidad and Tobago, which are Caribbean islands, or you can say near the Venezuela country, and a citizen of Denmark, who won the 2021 World Food Prize for her research, insights and innovations in the developing holistic nutrition sensitive approaches to aquaculture and the food system. She was born in 1949 on the Caribbean islands of the Trinidad, but she is a citizen of Denmark. So you have to remember she is a citizen of Denmark. You can see her picture. Shakuntala Haraksingh Thilsted wins World Food Prize 2021. And Indian descent, Dr. Shakuntala Haraksingh Thilsted, a native of Trinidad and Tobago, but she is a citizen of Denmark. And she won this prize for her research, insight and innovation in the developing holistic nutrition sensitive approaches to the aquaculture and the food system. It means she did transformation in aquatic food system to provide nutrition, a resilient ecosystem and secure livelihood for vulnerable people across the world. And guys, remember she is currently serving as the global lead for nutrition and public health at World Fish, a global research center headquartered in Malaysia. And she was the first to establish that commonly consumed small fishes were an important source of micronutrients and fatty acids, because small fishes contains micronutrients and fatty acids, and these are very important source of micronutrients. And guys, remember she belongs to Trinidad and Tobago, but you have to remember she is a citizen of Denmark. And the World Food Prize, also known as Nobel Prize in the field of agriculture, this is most important thing. You have to remember that Nobel Prize in the field of agriculture, or Nobel Prize for food and agriculture. This is important thing you have to remember. And the award is annually presented to recognize the achievement of any individual that advances human development and increased quality, quantity and availability or or access to food through innovative interventions within the scope of the food system. So guys, you can also remember the other options. These are again important. Dr. Ratan Lal, he won this World Food Prize in 2020. World Food Prize in 2020, and he was also Indian American soil scientist. Dr. Ratan Lal was the winner of 2020 World Food Prize. Next is Yusuf Ali MA. So you have to remember, because we covered this question in the most important question, that this person received one award, that is Abu Dhabi's Top Civilian Award. Abu Dhabi's Top Civilian Award. Next is Rumana Sehgal. Rumana Sehgal was recently won the Nelson Mandela World Humanitarian Award of 2021. It was awarded by the Diplomatic Mission Global Peace. So you have to remember Rumana Sehgal. She won Nelson Mandela World Humanitarian Award 2021. So all the options are very important. So now we can move to the next question. Who was selected to take charge as the Chief Executive Officer or CEO of National Asset Reconstruction Company? So guys, the most important keyword under this question is this organization, that is known as National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, or NARCL. This organization is also known as Bad Bank. Bad Bank. Basically, in the budget of 2021-22, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced the setup of an asset reconstruction company. Asset reconstruction company, or you can say Bad Bank, to consolidate and take over existing stress assets of the lenders and undertake their resolution. So that's why this body will be created, and it is expected to be operational in June 2021, and it will be created in the collaboration with both public and the private sector banks. And answer of this question is Padma Kumar Madhavan Nair. So D is the right answer. So you can see here the picture of Padma Kumar M Nair to be the CEO of National Asset Reconstruction Company, and you can also say he will be the first CEO of this organization, because this organization is set to be operational in the June 2021, because Nirmala Sitharaman announced in the budget of 2021-22 to create this Bad Bank. And Bad Bank refers to a financial institution that takes over bad assets of lenders and undertakes resolution. In simple word, you can also say that it is the financial institution that buys the non-performing assets or the bad loans from the banks and financial institution and helps them to recover from the non-performing assets. And they are registered under RBI and regulated under the SARFAESI Act of 2002, or you can say securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of the securities interest. Even recently, RBI formed a 6-member committee. RBI formed a 6-member committee to evaluate the role of asset reconstruction company. That is in April 2021. A 6-member committee to evaluate the role of asset reconstruction company in the stress debt resolution and review their business model. And who will lead this 6-member committee? It was Sudarshan Sen. We covered this question in the very important section, so you can review all the current affairs of April 2021. One day we covered this question. So Sudarshan Sen is the answer, who will lead the 6-member committee who will evaluate the role of asset reconstruction company. And guys, remember other options. Other options are again very important. Like you can see here, Mukhmeet S. Bhatia. He was recently appointed as Director General of which organization? Director General of ESIC. It means Employees State Insurance Corporation. Next is R.K. Chibbar. Very important appointment, because he was appointed as Chairman and Managing Director of Jammu and Kashmir Bank. So remember, Jammu and Kashmir Bank, Chairman and Managing Director is R.K. Chibbar. Next most important appointment, and this question will come 100%, Dr. Chintan Vaishnav, because he was recently appointed as Mission Director of Atal Innovation Mission. Atal Innovation Mission, because the time period of Ramanan was over. That's why the Dr. Chintan Vaishnav was appointed as Mission Director of Atal Innovation Mission. Now we are moving to next question. You can see we already covered these points, but here is the next question and the last question in the most important section. What is the name of NASA spacecraft who heads for Earth with sample of asteroid Bennu? So guys, two things are very important. First is the by default name of the spacecraft. That's why we are covering this question. Second, it heads to the Earth with sample of asteroid Bennu. It means you have to remember that asteroid Bennu belongs to which area. Guys, remember, asteroid Bennu is located around 200 million miles. 200 million miles, or you can say 1.9 astronomical units away from Earth. And the spacecraft will orbit the sun twice before delivering the sample to the Earth. And this will land on Earth in 2023. It means it will take 2 years. So this spacecraft started its 2-year-long journey towards Earth with the sample of rocks and dust collected from the asteroid Bennu. So its journey started towards Earth and it will take 2 years. And guys, name of this spacecraft is OSIRIS-REx or REx. You can also remember what is the abbreviation of this OSIRIS, REx, or you can say OSIRIS-REx. OSIRIS stands for Origin, Spectral, Interpretation, Resource Identification, Security, and REx stands for Regolith Explorer. So it started its 2-year-long journey towards Earth with the samples of rocks and dust collected from the asteroid Bennu. And I already covered that this asteroid Bennu is almost located around 200 million miles away from the Earth. And you can see here, this is NASA's begin 2-year trip home. It means Earth, with samples from asteroid Bennu. And you can see here, this is the asteroid Bennu, and you can see here, this is the OSIRIS. And you can see here, OSIRIS stands for Origin, Spectral, Interpretation, Resource Identification, Security, and Regolith Explorer. And OSIRIS-REx started its 2-year-long journey towards the Earth. We already covered this point. And the spacecraft will orbit the Sun twice before delivering the samples to the Earth in September 2023. Because we are in 2021 and it will take 2 years, that's why it will land on Earth in 2023, and it is expected that it will land in September 2023. And spacecraft OSIRIS-REx has launched on 8th of September 2016. If it will take to come back 2 years, then by default it also took 2 years to reach on the asteroid Bennu. The spacecraft reached asteroid Bennu in 2018. It means it took 2 years to reach asteroid Bennu, and it is estimated to return a sample to Earth in 2023. And guys, remember the sample collector of OSIRIS-REx is called the touch and go sample acquisition mechanism, which is known as TAG-SAM-HEAD. So this is not so much important. If you read this TAG-SAM, then you can now recall that this we read in the OSIRIS-REx. That's why we covered this line. And the collected samples were stored in the sample return capsule, or known as SRC, sample return capsule, because the sample return capsule containing the sample from asteroid Bennu will detach from the spacecraft and enter the Earth atmosphere. This is the function of basically sample return capsule. And it is estimated that this sample return capsule holds between 200 gram to 400 gram of sample, which exceeds the target of at least 60 grams or the 2 ounces. So guys, remember, this is vital information regarding the space mission, or very important question regarding the science and technology. And guys, remember, Japan is the only other country to achieve this feat. Now it is NASA, or you can say the United States of America. So remember this mission name. So you can see the B option here is the NISAR. NISAR stands for NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar, and this mission will measure Earth-changing ecosystem, dynamic surfaces, and ice masses, providing information about biomass, natural hazards, sea level rise, and groundwater, and will support a host of other applications. And next mission here is the Lucy. You have to remember, because we covered this point in the last month, some science and tech question, that NASA is set to launch a spacecraft named Lucy in October 2021 to fly past the asteroid near Jupiter. And next is the DART. The spacecraft named DART is set to launch in November 2021 with an aim to redirect the asteroid as a part of the planetary protection test. So guys, remember, both the missions related to NASA, and both are the names of the spacecraft. Now we can move to the next section. It is a very important section. Guys, you have to provide us 700 plus likes. You have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform, and you have to share this video as maximum as possible. And here is the first question in the very important section. Geojit Financial Services, which is basically a capital market type of the financial services providing company, has entered into an agreement with which bank to provide the advantage of 3-in-1 account to the bank customers. The most important keyword under this question is this 3-in-1 account, which is provided to bank customers, and it will be provided with the help of the Geojit Financial Services and the bank. And guys, these services are like a saving account. One is the saving account. Second, it is a demat account for trading in the share market or the capital market. And third is the trading account. So these are the basically 3-in-1 account facilities which is provided to the bank customer. And name of this bank is, guys, Punjab National Bank. It means Geojit Financial Services had entered into an agreement with the Punjab National Bank to provide the advantage of a 3-in-1 account to the customers of Punjab National Bank. And the new service gives all the customers who have a saving account with the Punjab National Bank. It means already if you are a customer of the Punjab National Bank and you have a saving account in the Punjab National Bank, then you can avail these type of the 3-in-1 account services. And Punjab National Bank Demat account and Geojit trading account facilities will be provided to you. And you can see here Geojit inks pact with the Punjab National Bank to provide 3-in-1 account. And guys, remember where is the headquarter of this organization, Geojit? You don't have to basically learn about these things, or you don't have to remember these things. You have to just read this. Geojit headquarter is in Kerala. This is a company based on the Kerala. And you can see here 3-in-1 account stands for saving account, Demat account and the trading account, and it will be provided to the customers of only Punjab National Bank. And the new service gives all the customers who have a saving account with the Punjab National Bank and Punjab National Bank Demat account and Geojit trading account, and diversification of investment and management through the one account. This is the main principle of this account. And investment in the capital markets can be done anytime, anywhere according to this account. Funds can be transferred in real time via the payment gateway facility from the saving account to meet investment need. If it means if you want to transfer some amount to the Demat account, then it is a real time basis the payment can be done. And instant Demat facility will be availed through internet banking services for instantaneously opening of Demat account digitally. And it is very useful for diversification of investment and management through one account. So guys, remember saving and Demat accounts can be opened online in Punjab National Bank, and the trading account can be opened online in 15 minutes without any paperwork. So this is the important thing you have to remember, especially for the banking students. You have to remember this news, and remember always about Punjab National Bank. It was established in 1894, but it commenced working in 1895, and its managing director and CEO, Chief Executive Officer, is S.S. Mallikarjun Rao. S.S. Mallikarjun Rao. And its headquarters is in New Delhi, not in Mumbai. And its tagline is the name you can bank upon. The name you can bank upon. So guys, remember about PNB. Now we can move to next question. Which company has launched international money transfer for its United States users? It means users of this company which are situated in the US can transfer money to the users of the same company in different countries, but initially they are starting with the India and Singapore, and name of this company is Google Pay. It means Google Pay users in the United States of America can transfer money to Google Pay users in India and Singapore. It means it can be transferred through Google Pay user to Google Pay user, but it can be used only by the United States of America users which are using the Google Pay. And guys, remember Google is planning to expand the feature to around 80 countries through the services of the Wise company, and around 200 countries with the help of the Western Union company. Because if we want to transfer international money, then you have to just tie up with the some remittance firms like Google Pay. Google Pay also tying up with the two firms. One is the Wise, second is the Western Union, because these are the largest remittance firms all over world. One is the Wise, second is the Western Union, and Wise belongs to United Kingdom, Western Union belongs to United States of America. Wise belongs to United Kingdom, Western Union belongs to United States of America. You can see here Google Pay launched international money transfer with Wise and the Western Union, and it was launched an initiative in partnership with the remittance firms Wise and Western Union, because they can use the services of these companies. Google Pay users in the United States of America can transfer money to application customers in India and Singapore. Now it is only open for the India and the Singapore, but Google is planning to expand this feature around 80 countries through the Wise network, and Western Union through 200 countries. So remember this. And the Google remittance market is valued around 470 billion United States dollar. Remember, Google Pay has 150 million users in the 40 countries. This is a huge market. And this initiative is seen as a step of to expand its financial services offering and increase competition in the digital payment sector. And guys, remember recent related news that Google Pay co-creators known as Sujit Narayanan and Sumit Gawlani, which are co-creators of the Google Pay, have announced the launch of a one neobank which is known as FI. We covered this question so many times because this is the most important question for the banking aspirants. Like FI neobank was launched by Google Pay co-creators, not by the Google Pay co-creators. for salaried millennials in the partnership of the federal bank, because neo bank don't have banking license, so they have to use one banking license from the other bank. So you have to remember it is with the help of the federal bank. And guys, I already covered that Wise is a United Kingdom company. You don't have to remember the CEO or the chairman. Western Union headquarters in United States of America. And remember about Google headquarters in California, United States of America. CEO is Sundar Pichai. Now we can move to the next question. What is the name of the application which is launched by SBI Yono and Shivrai Technologies for farm accounting? So the most important name here is the SBI application, or you can say the SBI digital application, that is known as Yono, or you can say you only need one. And one is the Shivrai technology, and partner with the leading digital banking platform Yono SBI to launch a you can say business to customer farm accounting mobile application, which is known as Farmizo Khata. So remember, answer of this question is D. Again, this question is for the banking aspirants. The free of cost application helps to make wiser purchase, harvest and production decision, and this will allow them to focus on their cost incurred as well as the bookkeeping of total profits that are in line. It means they can just add the profit, they can just add the cost, and all the things happen automatically under this application, that is Farmizo Khata. And the aim to help farmers across the country to manage their accounts efficiently and thus cutting down on losses. So you have to remember the name of this application, that is Farmizo Khata. But you can also remember the other applications you can see here, like first is the SmartUp Unnati. SmartUp Unnati basically started by HDFC Bank. We already covered this question yesterday, HDFC Bank. It is just to support the women entrepreneurs, and it was launched to mark the celebration of the International Women Day on the 8th of March. Next is Infinet India. It was launched by ICICI Bank. Remember ICICI Bank, for coordinating with multiple touch points, thus making hassle-free ease of doing business to the foreign companies in India. Next is Krishi Sakha. You have to remember Krishi Sakha was launched by Bharti AXA Life Insurance. Bharti AXA Life Insurance, and this application will provide farmers with the proper guidance of best farming techniques like soil seeds, which they can adopt in their farms and thus increase yield. So remember these applications and these programs which are launched by some type of the banks or the insurance companies. Now you can see here, this free of cost application helps to make wiser purchase, harvest and production decisions, and we covered all these points. Now we are moving to next question. You have to remember two things under this question so that you can cover this question smartly. SBI Yono, Shivrai Technology, and name of application is Farmizo Khata. Now we can move to the next question. A book titled 1971, The Beginning of India's Cricketing Greatness, authored by whom? So guys, the first most important thing about this book is it is related to cricket. The book is thrilling account of 1971 twin tours that bring to life an on-field excitement and the backroom drama of the cricket, and it is against a canvas that features legends of cricket at that time. One is the Pataudi and second is the Wadekar, who captained India to the two sensational series victories abroad in 1971. So it is a story of young country India ready and eager to make an impression on the world stage through cricket. And this book is written by Boria Majumdar, and second is the Gautam Bhattacharya. It means answer of this question is both B and C. And guys, these persons like Boria Majumdar and Gautam Bhattacharya was very famous because Boria Majumdar was the co-author of Sachin Tendulkar's autobiography, that is Playing It My Way. Playing It My Way. It is an autobiography of Sachin Tendulkar, and this person Boria Majumdar was the co-author of this book. And second is Gautam Bhattacharya. He was also the co-author of Saurav Ganguly's autobiography, that is known as A Century Is Not Enough. A Century Is Not Enough. So this is an autobiography of Saurav Ganguly, and Gautam Bhattacharya was the co-author of this book, and Boria Majumdar was the co-author of Playing It With My Way. So remember this, these are very important autobiographies you have to remember. And again, these two persons who co-authored the most important players of the Indian cricketer jointly wrote a book known as The Beginning of India's Cricketing Greatness, and known as the 1971. You can see the cover page of this book, 1971, The Beginning of India's Cricketing Greatness, and it is by Boria Majumdar and the Gautam Bhattacharya. Now we can move to the next question. Arjun awardee Venugopal Chandrasekhar passed away. He was associated with which game? So first of all, you have to remember the name Venugopal Chandrasekhar. I already covered this point so many times that if there is any obituary, then you have to remember one is the name, second the state, third the field. So name is clear. Here is name is Venu Gopal. And second, we have to remember the name of the state. He belongs to Tamil Nadu. It means he belongs to Chennai. And V. Chandrasekhar is popularly known as the 3 times national champion in table tennis. So answer of this question is C, table tennis. So these 3 things are most important things you have to remember under any obituary. And he was honored with the Arjun Award in 1982. In 1982. So you can see here Arjun winning TT player or the table tennis player V. Chandrasekhar passed away, or Venugopal Chandrasekhar passed away. He belongs to Tamil Nadu, and V. Chandrasekhar is popularly known as the 3 times national championship, and he represented India in the Commonwealth Games in 1982. You don't have to remember that where it happened. So you have to just remember he represented India in the Commonwealth Games. Nobody asking you that when he represented Commonwealth Games. So now we can move to the next question. International Nurses Day, that is the most important in current scenario day, 2021 is annually celebrated across the globe on which day? This is the most important day due to COVID-19. It can be asked. And guys, remember, it is on the 12th of May. Every year it is celebrated as International Nurses Day. Why it is celebrated? It is just to highlight the importance of nurses in the healthcare and to appreciate their work towards healthcare. And the International Nurses Day, like on 12th of May, marks the birth anniversary of Florence Nightingale. You have to remember Florence Nightingale. And you can also see here International Nurses Day, 12th of May 2021. And the theme of this International Nurses Day is Nurses, a voice to lead, a vision for the future healthcare. Because in today's world, like in a pandemic, nurses are the most important organ of the society. Because due to this, we can save the society. And the International Nurses Day was first proposed in 1965, and it was first observed in 1965. So you can just remember that it was first observed, but it is not so much important. And remember, there is an International Council of Nurses. International Council of Nurses, which headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland, and it was established in 1899. Now we can move to the next question. Now we are moving to the important question section, guys. You have to provide us 700 plus likes. You have to subscribe this channel. You have to share this video as maximum as possible. Here is the first question in the important section. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has released new guidelines for the implementation of Central Public Sector Undertaking Scheme Phase 2. And when this scheme was started. So 2 things are very important under this question, otherwise this question is not so much important. One is what is the scheme, Central Public Sector Undertaking Scheme Phase 2, or when it was started. So answer of this question, it was started in year of 2019. So answer is C. And you can see here, Center tightens solar viability gap funding rules for public sector units. And guys, you can see here, the main aim of this scheme is to set up 12,000 megawatt grid connected solar power projects which will be produced by the government producers. In other words, you can say its main aim to give push to Make in India by encouraging government producers to procure solar cells and modules from the domestic manufacturers. And guys, its period is started in 2019-20 and it will end in 2022-23. Its target is to set up 12,000 megawatt grid connected solar power plants. You can see here eligible organizations, government producers, PSUs, government organizations which are under administrative control or have 50% shareholding of the center and state government. They can undertake or they can use this type of the scheme. And maximum tariff is the maximum rate a CPSU stands for Central Public Sector Undertaking can charge from power distribution company, that is 2.45 per unit. Previously it was 2.80 per unit. So this is the basically amendment or the change. You have to you don't have to remember this thing, but you have to read this thing so that you can remember that what is this scheme. Now we can move to the next question. India GDP to grow dash in 2021 and dash in 2022 according to the report of United Nations. So you don't have to remember this question. You can just read because so many organizations are changing the GDP growth of India, especially for the financial year 22 and the 21 because of the rising of the COVID-19 cases in the second wave of the COVID-19. So you have to remember just this United Nations, because it is a United Nations report, that's why we are covering. Otherwise this is not so much important. Now they revised to 7.5% in 2021 and 10.1% in the 2022. So it is United Nations report. So just remember, earlier they predict the 7.3% growth in 2021, but now 0.2% increase from the earlier projection. So it is a United Nations report. So United Nations, you have to remember, its headquarters is in New York. New York. Member countries are 193. Secretary General is Antonio Guterres. So you have to remember. But you don't have to remember these data because recently CRISIL forecasted a range of Indian GDP growth that is 9.8% to 8.2%. It means in between in 9.8 to 8.2% India will grow according to CRISIL. Again, according to Moody, India's growth rate will be 9.3% in financial year 21, according to Moody's. And according to CARE, it is 9.2%. So there is a huge data which are changing. So that's why you don't have to remember that news which is changing every day. So that's why you don't have to remember it is because of COVID-19 cases are rising due to second wave of corona. Now we are moving to the next question. You can also see here. Moving to the next, it is the one-liner important point. Here is the first point we are discussing. Area of summer crops expands by 21.58%. That is a good news. And yesterday we covered this question that what are summer crops? Summer crops stands for the kharif crops, which are depends on the monsoons. And the increase in the area of summer crops mainly due to the sharp increase in the cultivation of the pulses area, because we want to increase the pulses production, and we increased in the last 10 to 12 years like almost 65%. So that's why the total summer crops cultivation area is increased by almost 21% or 22%. Next, India's renewable capacity addition falls by 50% to 5.62 gigawatt in 2020, and it is a report of IEA. And it is because of COVID-19, or you can say the pandemic, that India's revenue capacity addition falls by 50%. And remember, this is an organization that is known as International Energy Agency. Its headquarters is in Paris, France. And how many countries are member? 30 countries are member of this organization. And guys, remember, this organization also forecasted that at global level, renewable energy capacity additions of 270 gigawatt in 2021, followed by 280 gigawatt in 2022. This will be the addition in 2021 and 2022 according to International Energy Agency. And guys, remember, out of this 270 gigawatt and 280 gigawatt, almost 45%, like out of 270 gigawatt, almost 45% will be contributed by China. And out of this 280 gigawatt, 58% will be contributed by China. This is the prediction of International Energy Agency. So guys, you can remember this. This is just information, and you can say China's share in the renewable energy is now increasing. Next is around 219 endangered species threatened by the armed conflict according to the IUCN report. So IUCN recently published a report known as the Nature in a Globalized World, Conflict and Conservation. So this is the basically first in IUCN Nature in a Globalized World report series. And according to IUCN, 219 endangered species threatened by the armed conflict. And the risk created due to the civil unrest, war, or direct killing, killed by the target practice, or sometimes for food. And guys, remember about IUCN, its headquarters is in Gland, Switzerland. Next is SEBI issued new disclosure norms over the business responsibility and sustainability report for the top 1000 listed companies by financial year 23. So this is not so much important because this is theoretical in nature, but you have to remember about SEBI. SEBI was established in 1988, but it becomes statutory body. It means it becomes an act in 1992, and its head is Ajay Tyagi. Next, shooter Dadi Chandro Tomar passed away due to COVID-19. So this was old news basically. We are covering this time because 89-year-old sharpshooter Chandro Tomar passed away, or also known as the shooter Dadi, passed away and in Uttar Pradesh after suffering from the COVID-19. And Chandro Tomar, popularly known as Shooter Dadi, started her shooting career in the 1960s and was acclaimed as the world's oldest woman shooter. That's why this question is important. And in 2019 movie, one movie I know that named as Sand Ki Aankh was based on the biography of Chandro Tomar and the Parkhi Tomar, second oldest woman shooter in the world. Both Chandro Tomar and the Parkhi Tomar belong to the Uttar Pradesh. So, especially for the Uttar Pradesh students, you have to remember. Next, Bay Tree India Holdings sells over 2% stake in the Yes Bank. So, why we are covering this stake news? Because it is related to Yes Bank. And guys, remember, Bay Tree India Holdings held 7.48% stake in the Yes Bank earlier, but now they sold almost 2% stake, like 2.08% equity share, and its stake is now less than you can say almost by 5%. So you can just remember, and it is now the second largest single shareholder after the State Bank of India. So just remember that Bay Tree India holding, it is only for the banking student, otherwise no need to remember this. Now we are moving to the question of the day. What was the question of 12th of May 2021? When were the local area banks were set up first in India? And every student who commented was right. It means the question answer who commented by every student was right. And what is the answer? Answer of this question is August 1996. Remember, August 1996. This is the answer. And the local areas bank were set up as per the Government of India scheme announced in August 1996. And the intention of the government was to set up new private local banks with jurisdiction over 2 or 3 contiguous districts. And the objective of establishing the local area bank was to enable to mobilizing the rural saving by local institutions and make them available for investment in the local areas. So the overall idea was to bridge the gap in the credit availability in the rural and the semi-urban areas. So thereby strengthening the institution credit mechanism in such areas, this local area banks were established. And guys, remember, according to RBI received almost 227 applications, but most of them were rejected, and RBI approved only 10 local area banks. But now, as the data of the RBI till 2015, only 4 are into existence. So guys, it was started in August 1996, and answer of this question is C. So now we are moving to the question of the day. Question is, in which year the Banking Regulation Act of 1949 was amended to make it applicable to the cooperative banks? So you have to watch the video like 2 or 3 days back when I asked one question in the question of the day that Banking Regulation Act was passed on which date. Then I explained that it was amended in which year for the cooperative bank. So guys, you have to answer only me in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. But if you are watching this video, then you have to provide us 700 plus like. Every student have to like this video if you're watching this. And guys, please subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform, and please press this bell button. And if you want to receive the notification on time, and you have to share this video as maximum as possible. And guys, it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. If you're watching the videos regularly, and if you are reading the current affairs from the PDF, your current affair section will definitely go strong, because 90 to 95% current affair which are coming in your exams are covered by Affairs Cloud. So today you have to subscribe the PDFs, because it has these are most important things you have to subscribe. Like you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years, but first of all you have to download our application, and you can download from the description box link. The prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise, and on that minimal price we are providing 10% extra discount. If you use this code H10, then you will get definitely 10% extra discount. And guys, don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy, and thank you so much for watching this video, and take care. Bye bye.